Well, how are we getting on? Okay, so Bill says, "Oh my God, I can't believe how much better it feels. Normally it'd take weeks to feel better, but I exercised every day. This time, oh, sorry, I exercised every day this time. Usually I'd lie up and protect it." What's this then? So, Bill had hurt herself. Can't remember the nature of the injury off the top of my head. It might be a back or shoulder injury. They're the most common ones that Bill tends to get, and they are recurring injuries. And what had happened was doing something horribly mundane, managed to hurt herself. Something we've all done. It's never, well, it might be. So often we hurt ourselves, these minor injuries, these inconveniences that, and it's doing mundane, boring stuff. It's not the cool thing that hurts us. It's the boring thing. Bending over, picking something up, reaching for something, and just like a ooh, ow, and that's it. Fuck. Hurt. Restricted now for X amount of time. And what blew Bill away in this particular instance was, and this is her words, it was better in days rather than weeks. Now let's read this back again. But I exercised every day this time. Usually I'd lie up and protect it. There's your answer. More often than not, moving and exercising, as long as it's careful and it's the sort of right kind of movement, right kind of exercise, that gets you back way faster than the old thinking of rest and injury. Why? Why do we think this? Now, even like post-surgery, the surgeons are coming in and they're getting you into the physio and they're getting you on your feet as quickly as possible, and they're sending you home with sheets of exercises. Movement and training, it is the answer to so many questions. If you're hurting and you can find movements to do that don't hurt, you should be doing them. In Bill's case, it was gentle, daily yoga. She loves yoga. Bit of gentle, daily practice, doing things that don't hurt, but putting yourself in positions where there's a stimulus going through where the pain is, the pain site is. Do you know what I mean? This is what helped to get out of it, get out of pain. And what do we think? What do we think is happening? What do I think is happening? I think it's down to blood flow. When you move the muscles, the body pumps blood through those muscles. And when muscles move, muscle movement is what pumps lymph fluid. And what is in lymph fluid? That's your immune system. That's where all your white blood cells come from. Check that. I'll have to check that. I'm sure that's right. But anyway, your lymphatic system is largely your immune system. So you're getting blood and lymph pumped through the injury site. That's carrying nutrition into the injured tissues. That is taking away any waste products from those injured tissues. And if you're clearing away the crap and you're bringing in the good stuff, you've got a better chance of rebuilding, haven't you? Let's stick that little light on there. Is that better? Um, Now, you're also stretching and releasing the muscles. You're putting some movement through them, which that is going to send signals to the brain that the movement is safe, that the movement is okay, assuming it's a safe and gradiated movement, as in, it's a level that is safe, but you could gradiate the movement up to something that's highly stressful. So we go from stimulatory to stressing to damaging. Yeah. Um, it's like deadlifting an empty bar versus deadlifting a 1 rep max. Do you know what I mean? The empty bar is stimulatory and there's very little going on. But as you move up towards your 1 rep max, it becomes potentially more and more injurious. It's a gradiated process, isn't it? So you're stretching and releasing muscle tissues, which are sending signals up to the brain to say, okay, we're safe, we can move. And the brain's going, oh, actually, this is kind of safe. I can tone down the pain and warning signals. So pain is very much, not completely, but it's largely an output from the brain. You, for example, like mine, where your collarbone should sit on top of the sternum, and that's where this other one does sit. It fell off its perch on top of the sternum, and that hurt. And from time to time, it still hurts. When I saw the surgeon, the orthopedic surgeon, not the surgeon, the consultant, the orthopedic consultant, he comes in and he says to me, "You know it's bad when you see me." And then he says, "I've only seen one worse than yours, the sternoclavicular subluxation, that one's called. Only seen one worse, and we didn't do anything about that either." That was apparently a rugby player. And then he says, "Come and see me next week." I'm like, right, okay. So I left the hospital that day and it was hurting. And I spent the week moving it around because, it felt right. And then back in there the next week, hurting and waiting and hurting and waiting. And that consultant, that boy's words were rattling around my head. Only seen one worse, and we didn't do anything about that either. Why the hell am I sat here waiting? And when I'd waited for a number of hours, and I had appointments to get to, I got up and I left. And as I left, I made the decision. This is my shoulder now. I have training and I have experience. This is my shoulder. I am going to take charge of my rehab and I'm going to reach out to colleagues who might be able to help me. And as I walked down those stairs and out to the front door, my shoulder gradually hurt less and less. And by the time I got back to Wild Geese, because I was still in Dublin at the time, I felt good. And I took control. Now, that little story about my shoulder, and that's quite a serious injury, and it was doing something relatively cool, I'll grant you. But if you've any ongoing or recurring injury, and it's especially the recurring injuries, the ones that just keep cropping up, you keep tweaking the same shoulder, you keep pulling your back in the same place. It's the same knee that keeps bothering you over and over again. It's the same foot that the plantar fasciitis keeps coming back into. Do you know what I mean? It's a recurring injury. These are the things you have to take responsible for yourself. Now, when you take that responsibility, as I did when I left that hospital, that puts you in control. And this is the very thing I try and do in this clinic with my clients, whether I'm working online with them or in here in person. The very first thing we do is try and put it front and center that you are responsible for you. It's your body. Nobody knows your body better than you do. Nobody can feel what you feel is going on in your body. An MRI scan gives us a lot of information, but it doesn't tell you how you feel. Watching you do a standing toe touch might give us a lot of information, but it doesn't tell us how you feel. It doesn't tell us your interpretation of it. And what you think, what you feel is vital to recovery. When you are in control, when you take charge, and rather than, what did Bill say? Usually lie down and protect it. If you take that passive route, I will sit back and I will protect it and I will wait for it to get better. Or I will lean into some professional help and they will make me better. That's not taking responsibility. If you take what Bill said, but I exercised every day, maybe that exercise is under the advice of a professional, but it's still you taking charge and it's you doing it. You are in charge. You are in control. Your self-image of a person who is capable, who is strong, who is able, that self-image is still maintained. Yes, you're moving at a lower rate or a lower intensity. Maybe even your library, the menu of movements that you're choosing from is more limited than normal, but you're still moving. I've had guys in wild geese sitting down doing battling ropes with their full length cast on the leg. A brace running from hip to ankle and they're doing pull-ups and dips. Do you know what I mean? They're still able to do stuff. People coming in with broken ribs and okay, let's just drag. We'll drag a sled. We'll just tie it to your waist and we'll drag a sled up and down. You're capable. You are capable. And if you accept that and if you pick what Tony Gentlecore refers to as your training menu. What is your available training menu? When I did this, yeah, okay, presses and pulls were off the menu for a little while. Training legs wasn't. Training core wasn't. Do you know what I mean? I could still do cardio. You know, I could run, I could cycle. I just have to be very careful with shoulder stuff for a while until I got strong. And if you watch my recent training videos, you'll see barbell presses. I'm doing the ABC complex with a 70 kilo barbell and it's going up. Yeah, you know, the ABC, Dan John's Armor Building. 2 cleans, 1 press, 3 squats. You know, 70 kilo barbell, banging it around easy, simple. So why do we think this works? So there's a lovely word, and I think it first came up in the book Super Training. Verhansky and I can't even say his bloody name. Where's the book? It's on the other bookshelf. Verhanshovsky and Sif. It's on every good coach's bookshelf, whether every good coach has read it or not, but it's definitely on the bookshelf. They introduced the word supercompensation. What that means is recovery is where your body supercompensates. So if this is your level of ability, immediately after training, this level will drop because fatigue and whatever else in the body. Now, over time, when you recover, you should recover not to the level that you were at, but slightly above. Yeah, but it's this little dip in between, and then it comes up. There's your new level. and you train again, and there's a dip, and then dunk, and you dunk, right? And sound effects make everything better, right? So super compensation, lovely word. But when you train, you don't just compensate back to the level, you compensate above the level. And that's the super part. Yeah. If you just came back to here, it wouldn't even be compensation. It'd just be whatever. Yeah, you recover back to here, but then you go above and above and above. That happens because your body, when stressed, it sends out, it releases hormones, and largely it's a hormonal thing, into the bloodstream, and that goes everywhere. The adrenaline and the cortisol and the all these hormones, they travel in the bloodstream. And where does blood go? It goes everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. That is why, if you have a goal of simply getting all over bigger and stronger, and all you do is squat and deadlift, guess what? Your arms will grow, your back will grow, your chest will grow. But you're doing squats and deadlifts. Even if you just do squats, do you know what I mean? Because that stimulus going on through the body, your nervous system is getting, the whole nervous system is firing up. Those hormones are going everywhere. Everything will get the signal to supercompensate. Now, that's why when you've got a leg injury and you're doing pull-ups, you're helping your leg. There is some sort of what they think of as this cross factor. So if you've damaged your right shoulder, but you train your left shoulder, you'll get some benefit. Sorry, I'm not on the microphone there. I don't know if that sound comes through. You'll get some effect on the opposite side. Hormones and the nervous system go everywhere. So you must train, you must exercise. You get a holistic anabolic benefit, and you're keeping your mind right. You are staying in control. You are still a capable person. You are not your injury. I may have a subluxed clavicle, but I am not an injured person. Simple as that. Even a conversation just today, my son, I rolled my ankle and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, and keep moving. Start doing things to get the ankle stronger. And he's looked at me like I had two heads. You know, he's a teenager, and what teenager listens to the dad? But it's still a case of you are responsible for you. Take charge, take control, and don't stop. Yeah. That's kind of it today. Like, it really is. It's find your trainable menu, and that's my favorite skill set, is helping people find their trainable menu. That's what I really love doing for people, and seeing them come back from their reduced state, their injured state, into the animal that they really could be. You know, that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. Yeah. So if you've questions on that, queries on that, do get in touch. There's a comment section down below. You can fire emails through to davehedges.net. That really, I should be putting that on screen. I wonder if I do. We'll put it here if I do. And then, of course, you've got your like, subscribe, and the bell thing. Hit them. That helps me out. That helps more people see this video. So until next time, you keep moving, regardless of what state you're in. Find your trainable menu, and we'll talk to you next week. Till then.